I put on the screen here a recommendation. If you would really like it, I would definitely recommend that you go much deeper into prophecy and in particular the book of Revelation. And the best way to do that is not to listen to one more preacher tell you what he thinks. Now, what I think is pretty accurate because I've done a lot of study, but it's not 100% accurate. And you won't be able to stand on that. The best way for you to stand on your 2 feet is to think for yourself. And what this is a study put out by, this is the study, by the way, that introduced me to the whole issue of Revelation prophecy. And what it is it's not what you want it to be. It will not be somebody telling you how to think. It will be somebody who will lead you through the scriptures and have you read them and have you draw your own conclusions, have you fill in the blanks. You're going to need a Bible that you're willing to mark in and write in the margins. Because you'll be reading the book of Revelation and or prophecies like the book of Daniel dozens and dozens of times. Now, that may sound like, I don't want to do that. Well, it's just, that's your prerogative. But like I said, if you really want to know it where you can stand on your own 2 feet, this is the level you have to count. You've got to get to be able to say, no, I know it says this because this is where it says it, and this is where it is. Like we talked about on Sunday mornings. The Bible has to be a place where you live. And where I live, I can tell you where the twist ties are. Because I keep them in the rubber bands that I use to shoot bugs with. So I bet you can't find them in my house, but I know where they are. Those little details, because again, does it matter where those things are in my house? Nah, not really. Does it matter where the details are in the scriptures? Most definitely. God doesn't waste any words. And so, yeah, it's great to know the big overarching pictures. That's all awesome. But God's not called you just to be somewhat familiar with the scriptures. He's called you to live there. This will make you live in the prophecies, and in particular Revelation. So I recommend it's just $9. This is a link, by the way. You can find this on, it's $9.98 or 89 cents on Amazon, and you can buy these. When I first did it, which was coming up on 26 years ago, more or less, it's an entire study. It had fill in the blanks and all this kind of stuff. This doesn't have that. It's just basically, it tells you what to do, and you've got to have your own notebook, and you've got to have your own system set up to record things in. And so it's just, they simplified it so it wouldn't be as thick and be easier for you to handle, and you can be able to put it, you can write it in the margin, you can do whatever you want to with it. So highly recommended. She also does a study, they do a study, Kay and David Arthur do a study on the book of Daniel, and you're going to find that would dovetail with this. In fact, much of what you're going to do in Revelation is study Daniel and add Daniel on top of that and have a good grasp of Daniel. Daniel is almost as difficult as Revelation. In fact, it is as difficult as Revelation. It's just not as long. But Daniel is a precursor, I should say, is an absolute read for understanding, comprehending the book of Revelation. So there you go, recommendation.
Thanks for visiting. Find us at www.islandbaptistchurch.org.